Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Welcome friends, again at the virtual classroom. We are learning the trial balance sheet. It's part 3. So again let us look to the slide. Now we are to prepare the trial balance, but again look at the slide. Please note, we will be given the accounts with their closing balances. It will be given in the example. Appeared at the end of the financial year from the ledger, it will be extracted by the accountant while closing the accounts of the ledger, but we will be given the name of the accounts as well as their balances. But sometimes paper setter or you may be having either the debit balance or the credit balance of the account. At this same time, you may not be given whether the account has the debit balance or the credit balance. So if we are known with the part 2 that we have learned just before, then only it will be very easy for us that though they have not mentioned the debit or the credit balance of any of the account, we will be very sure whether that account bears the debit or the credit balance. If it is the income, we are sure it has the credit balance. If it is the expense, then it has the debit balance. If it is any of the asset, it bears the debit balance. If it is the capital asset, capital account, or it is the loan or the liability account including the current liabilities, then all such accounts bear the credit balance. These are the fundamental rules. So if we are not given either the debit or the credit balance very clearly in the example, then again with the help of this information we will be in a position to prepare the trial balance. So let us go through with the trial balance sheet, how we have to prepare the trial balance, and I would like to discuss each and every account that may have that may appear at the ledger. So let us start with the balance sheet. First one, the headlines or the heading, trial balance or sheet of Messrs ABC. We have to mention the name of the business as on. Again we know that at the end of the accounting period we need to prepare the trial balance. So we have to mention, I have mentioned 31st March 2014. Again we have to use 4 of the columns. Column number 1, that will be the name of the account. Column number 2, that will be the ledger folio number. Column number 3, that will mention the debit balance of the account, and column number 4, the credit balance of the account. Now start with one by one. Account number 1, owners or the partners capital and the drawings. If it is the capital, then again the capital bears the credit balance, but if it the withdrawal or the drawings of the owners, then it will have the debit balance. So we with the help of the information we may divide or we may decide either if it is the capital account, then it bears the credit balance, and if it is the drawing or the withdrawal from the capital invested by the owners, then it bears the debit balance. Second one, general reserve or any undistributed profit. Again we know that income or gain or profit bears the credit balance, so we have to mention at the credit side. Number 3, profit and loss account, or it is known as accumulated profits or the losses. But if it is the profit, then we have to mention at the as it has the credit balance, and if they are the accumulated losses, then we have to mention at the debit side. Next one, bank loan and the interest. Bank loan being the liability, it bears the credit balance, but the interest on bank loan is the expense for the business, so it bears the debit balance. Next one, debentures and interest on debentures. Debentures being the long-term liability of the business, it bears the credit balance, but interest on the debentures being the financial expenditure of the business, it bears the debit balance. Next one, public deposits and its interest. Again, if the business has received the deposits from the general public, then it is the long term liability of the business, so it bears the credit balance, and business has to pay the interest on such public deposits, which is the financial expenditure of the business, so it bears the debit balance. Loan from the owners and the directors or the employees, again being the liability, it bears the credit balance. Next one, again on your screen, debenture redemption reserve and its investments. Debenture is the long-term liability of the business. To make sure repayment, easy repayment, company has to transfer some of the profits to debenture redemption reserve, and it will be invested outside the business. So on the date of maturity or on the date of redemption, the business may sell out these investments made outside the business, may receive the cash and bank, and that cash and bank may be used to repay the debentures. So it won't affect the business either in liquidity or in the profitability. So if it is the reserve, then again we learn that it is the transfer of profits, so it bears the credit balance. But if we have invested the amount outside the business, being the investment, being the asset, it bears the debit balance. Next one, bad debt and the bad debt reserve. Bad debt is the actual loss, so it bears the debit balance. But bad debt reserve, again we have made the provision for the doubtful debt, and that from the profit of the business, so it bears the credit balance. Next one, debtors and the creditors. In normal case, in the examples, you will be given such type of accounts, debtors, at the same time debtors and the creditors, and you will be given two of the balances. But now we have to decide whether the debtors have the debit balance or the credit balance, vice versa for the creditors. We know that debtors are the outcome of the credit sales. So debtors, while selling the goods on credit, we have to debit the debtors account. So debtors bear the debit balance, vice versa. If we have purchased the goods on credit, then again we have to credit the creditors. So debtors bears the debit balance, at the same time creditors bears the credit balance. So is true for the bills receivables and bills payables. Bills receivables are the receivables or are the assets, so it bears the debit balance, and bills payables are the liability of the business, so it bears the credit balance. Cash and bank, at the same time you may be given cash and bank overdraft. If it is the cash and bank balance, then both of them are the assets of the business, so both of them bears the debit balance. But if it is mentioned in the example that cash and bank overdraft, it means that cash being the asset has the debit balance, and bank overdraft being the liability of the business, it bears the credit balance. So if it is bank and cash balance, then both of them have the debit balance. But if it is mentioned that cash and bank overdraft, it means that the debit balance is the cash balance and credit balance is the balance related with the bank overdraft. Next one on your screen, outstanding or unpaid expenses. Both, either the outstanding or we may name it unpaid expenses, they are the liability of the business, so it bears the credit balance. Next one, income received in advance. Again we have received the income in advance, so at the end of the year it is the liability of the business, so again it bears the credit balance. Now the important part, that is the purchase and sales, either cash or credit, or maybe the sum of the two. Purchases being the expenditure of the business, it bears the debit balance, and sales being the income for the business, it bears the credit balance. So is true for the goods returned, either the purchase or the sales. But if it is the debit balance, then it means that it is the goods which were returned on sale, and the purchase return, that will bear the credit balance. So if it is the sale return, then it bears the debit balance, and if it is the purchase return, then it bears the credit balance. Cash discount, either allowed or received, again the same set of rules. If we have received the cash discount, then again we know that cash discount received being the income, we have to credit, and cash discount allowed being the financial expenditure, it bears the debit balance. So with the help of this information, we may divide either whether the account is the debit balance or it has the credit balance, or it is the expenditure of the business or it is the income of the business. Next one on your screen, interest, dividend, rent or the commission on investment received by the business. Again, if the business has invested the surplus fund outside the business on certain investments, either in the shares or the debentures of some company, or in the fixed deposits of some another company, or in the fixed deposits of some bank, or the business might have invested into the government securities, or the business may have some land and building, and on let outing such assets or the real estate, we being the business may have earned the rental income. So such a type of incomes being the income, it bears the credit balance. Next one, again on your screen, loss or profit on sale of fixed asset. Again, if the business has sold some of the fixed asset during the year and has received more than the book value of the asset, then the difference of the selling price and the book value will be the profit on sale of the fixed asset. Being the profit, it will be credited, so it bears the credit balance. But if the asset were sold during the year at a price less than the book value, that the difference of these two will be the loss for the business and it bears the debit balance. Next one, again on your screen, depreciation and depreciation fund, or it is known as provision for depreciation. Again, the business has to make the provision for the depreciation on fixed assets, and they have to write off certain invisible assets over a period of time. Either the depreciation or the return of amount of the invisible assets, both of them are the expenses or the losses for the business, so it bears the debit balance. But if the business has made the provision for the depreciation, then provision bears the credit balance. So if it is depreciation and depreciation fund, then the debit balance is the balance of the depreciation and credit balance is the balance of the depreciation fund or the provision for depreciation account. Next one, income tax paid and provision for income tax. Again, if the business has paid the income tax in advance during the year, then it bears the debit balance because we have paid for. And if we have made the provision to pay the income tax at the end of the year, then it is the provision made out of the profit of the business, so it bears the credit balance. So income tax paid bears the debit balance and provision for income tax bear the credit balance. Next one, again on your screen, provident fund and contribution to provident fund. This is very important. The business has to contribute to the provident fund of the employees or the workers. It is the expenditure for the business, and the business has to manage the provident fund of the employees throughout the employer's employment. So at the end of their employment, the business has to repay the fund to the respective employees. So in that case, contribution to provident fund is the expenditure, so it bears the debit balance, and provident fund being the liability of the business towards the employees, it bears the credit balance. Next one, on your screen, land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fixtures, as well as the electrification, vehicles, livestock being the animals, goodwill, patents, all such are the fixed assets, either visible or invisible. They bear the debit balance. So here we complete the part 3, and later on we will move to the part 4, in which we will discuss the debit and the credit balances of the remaining account, and then we will prepare or we will complete the trial balance. Thank you.
Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.